Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Junix.
Is that the weekend?
Why are you trying to smile?
I have to smile. How wouldn't I smile if you make me smile? How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Yes, just make it louder every Monday. Good morning. How are you, Bimbai?
I'm great,
Our
Oji.
favorite Nigerian wife. It's always good to see you on the morning show. And we miss Ayo, of course. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, Audrey.
Right. All right. Ayo will be away for about a week, and Bimbai will be taking charge. Well, all right. Unfortunately, this morning we're starting What's Trending on a sad note. Well, we're beginning What's Trending on a very sad note by commiserating with one of our panelists on this day live, Chike Ogia, who lost his wife, Olufunke Ogia, yesterday, Sunday, March 17th, at the age of 62, after a protracted illness. Olufunke was a 1985 graduate of the University of Lagos. She was married to Chike, who was a former commissioner of information in Delta State and the managing director of Mac Foley Hospitality Limited, the owners of the Lagos Marriott Hotel. She survived by her 91-year-old mother, Kanyisola Sophia Koya, her daughter, 2 sons, a grandson, a brother, and 3 sisters. Chike, in a statement on behalf of the families, thanked friends and associates for the outpouring of love over the loss of his wife. He also stated that funeral arrangements will be announced in due course. Dr. Bati, may her soul rest in perfect peace. Dr. Bati, over to you.
Heartfelt condolences. First to Chike Ogia, personally, who is a major resource person for this station. One of our panelists on This Day Live, and I work directly with him every week. And also to the Ogia family of Asaba Delta State, and the Koya family of Agowoye, Ogun State, and all the friends of both families and all the persons who were privileged to have known the departed. It's a very tough moment for Chike Ogia. He was very supportive. He showed how a husband, and I'm saying this from, the little that I observed in terms of how himself felt while his wife, was going through the trial that led to her eventual demise. We just pray that the Lord will strengthen Chike and the children and the rest of the family and grant them the fortitude to bear the loss. May our soul rest in peace.
Our Rise News commiserates with the family. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Well, all right. We'll continue on What's Trending, with reactions trailing the killing of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army who were attached to the 63 Brigade at Okuama community in Ugheli Delta State on Thursday, March 14th. Over the weekend, 14 lifeless bodies of the military men were recovered. Some of the bodies were said to have been beheaded. The bodies of the commanding officer and 2 majors were seen floating by the river bank at the NDDC jetty in the coastal Delta community. In the meantime, the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborevwori, has condemned the killings of the soldiers, describing the incident as despicable and not in sync with the culture of the tradition of Deltans. Barely 24 hours after the bodies of the slain soldiers were recovered, several houses in the Okuama community where the soldiers were killed were set on fire, prompting residents to flee to neighboring communities for the fear of reprisal attacks by soldiers. All right, this was condemnable. There was a tweet that was trending. If we can pull up that tweet by Defense Headquarters, apparently they had posted this actual video with that caption, the audacity. So at this point, we're still waiting to hear from the Defense Headquarters as to who carried out that dastardly attack in that community. Well, in the meantime, Nigerians have pulled up an old BBC interview of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was asked to respond to the 1999 invasion of Odi, a predominantly Ijaw community of Bayelsa State, where soldiers killed many and burned the community to the ground. On the orders of the then president, the attack, which has been largely described as a massacre, was said to be in response to the killing of 12 policemen and an ambush of soldiers by a militia that used the civilian population of Odi as its cover.
Benefit of hindsight, is there something that you regret today about your presidency? Or is there something that you did then that you probably would have done differently?
Me? What? I did everything that I should do the way I should do that.
But what about Odi? The invasion of a village in Odi where the whole village was wiped out.
Of course, if I have soldiers and police who are the instrument by which I should maintain security, and I sent police and they were killed, and I sent soldiers and they were killed, what do you expect me to do? If you were in my position, what will you do? You will fold your arms? You answer me, my dear brother.
Definitely not.
Okay.
But do you regret the killing of women and children in that invasion?
I feel bad by any soldier, of any individual being killed. I feel bad. But don't forget I have other responsibilities.
All right, Olusegun Obasanjo there appeared unapologetic for the massacre. I mean, you heard him ask the interviewer, if you were in my shoes, what would you do? But it appears like the same script all over again. Let me just take a reaction on social media. This is from Sumto, who wrote, Nigerian soldiers still on revenge mission. Another community set ablaze by Nigerian Army in Delta State. Meanwhile, in the north, Boko Haram terrorists are granted amnesty. Fulani herdsmen are protected by the government. Bandits are getting paid and rehabilitated. These are criminals and terrorists responsible for the deaths of thousands of Nigerians, including Nigerian soldiers and police officers. It's only in the southeast and the south-south that the Nigerian military goes on revenge missions. Why not go after the perpetrators and leave innocent civilians out of this? Why burning down the whole community? You see, Rufai, there is already the ethnic tone, which is actually re-echoed on social media.
I want us to douse down the ethnic tone.
Yeah.
Because when you have two hotheads in the room, you don't get any word out. So please, let's down down the ethnic tone. But while we douse down the ethnic tone, we should also call for justice across board.
Yeah.
Because when people see justice to be done, they understand justice being done. But most cases in the country, people don't see justice. As regards to Olusegun Obasanjo saying, what would you have expected me do? I will have expected him to say that the perpetrators and those boys that perpetrated that crime in Odi should be dealt with, not the community. Odi was so bad that even animals were killed. That's how bad Odi was. And you see, it's also the hypocrisy we live in our society. Today, we are asking a question with Israel and Gaza. What is reciprocal action? Some terrorists from Gaza went into Israel on 7th of October, killed people. Today, Israel has gone to level Gaza. Exactly what is happening. Some stupid, mindless, ignoble militants as youths killed our precious Nigerian soldiers that we respect so much. And we commiserate with their families. We humanize our troops because we know they were fighting the defense of this country. But we expect a reciprocal action, the military to go after those people, and we expect the village elders to fish those people out.
Absolutely.
But not you going to level the village. It's not done. That's why I keep saying two wrongs will never make it right. In the worst case, it will make two wrongs. So we want the army to please. We know they are irate and angry, but there are laws in the land you have to abide by. You can't sack a village because innocent ones should not suffer. So please let your investigation go on. Go after those people. And we must also try them in accordance with the laws of the land. Laws must not be taken into their hands. As regards this ethnic dimension we are now going, I beg, let us soft pedal on that, please.
Absolutely.
This is not the time to say if it was in the north, this will happen. No, please.
Yeah.
But also, across board, concerning that conversation, justice must be the order of the day.
Absolutely.
Please.
Justice must be the order of the day. Politicians across Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, they've all called for justice, as well as Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who in an official reaction to the killings of 16 soldiers warned that any attack on the armed forces or any of their men will be considered an attack on the nation. The president granted the military full powers to go after those who killed the soldiers and condoled with their families. His statement reads in part, "As the commander-in-chief, I join all well-meaning Nigerians and the men and women of our armed forces to mourn and express my profound grief over the needless death of our gallant soldiers. I extend my profound condolences to the families of these fallen soldiers, their colleagues, and their loved ones. The military high command is already responding to this incident. The cowardly offenders responsible for this heinous crime will not go unpunished. This incident once again demonstrates the dangers faced by our servicemen and women in the line of duty. I salute their heroism, courage, and uncommon grit and patriotism." Again, may their souls rest in peace. Dr. Abati, I'd like Bimbai's comment before I come to you.
Very quickly, you know, my father is a retired brigadier general, and one thing he will always tell you is once a soldier, always a soldier, which is why it's very complicated when we have retired military men in civilian positions, because when they train you to be a soldier, there's a wiring in you that can't be undone.
Yes.
So this is an opportunity for us to see. We've seen, you know, how it was handled in the past by a retired military man. Let's see how a civilian president who's, you know, without a military past will manage it. This is a great opportunity for history to be corrected in a certain stance, and for this situation to be doused down in a way that can promote unity and peace.
I like that, Vimbai, an opportunity for history to be corrected. Dr. Abati.
See, certain things need to be set straight. I think the people who are trying to inflame passions are wrong. People who are trying to drive up primordial sentiments, they're not helping the country. This is the time for all of us to speak as human beings, to see that what has happened in Okuama is not acceptable in any degree. Either the killing of the 16 soldiers in a barbaric, cruel manner, there is no justification for it. The raising down of the community also cannot be justified. And what we expect is that the authorities that have now been given the go-ahead by President Tinubu to investigate and bring the perpetrators to justice will do precisely that and ensure that anybody that can be found culpable on either side, either within the community or among the soldiers, will be made to answer for it. We cannot have a country that is governed by anything else other than the rule of law. People cannot take the law into their hands. The people who slaughtered the soldiers, they were engaging in pure criminality. The persons who have gone to burn down the community have also engaged in pure criminality. And what all of this speaks to is the state of insecurity in this country. The fact that this country is not safe, whether you are in uniform or you are out of uniform. And those, divisive centrifugal forces that catalyze this kind of situation, those are the things that President Tinubu as Commander-in-Chief will still need to prioritize and look into. That's one. Number two, I think the reference to President Obasanjo and the comparison with what the military, how the military has responded. Well, I don't know, maybe people just trying to drive up sentiments. Don't forget that President Obasanjo, as Commander-in-Chief, was a retired soldier. And under his watch at the time, in 1999, November 1999, we had the Massacre. In fact, houses were not just raised down. Women were raped.
Absolutely, it was horrific.
In 2001, October 12, there was also Zaki Biam. The people are saying it's only South-South where we have had people being attacked. There was Zaki Biam in 2001. And Zaki Biam, you may say, is in the middle belt, but that's towards the north. And that's why I say people should stop playing this primordial politics. They should be talking about lives lost and why nobody's life should be wasted in this country, whether in or out of uniform. The third point, the good point, is that President Tinubu, who is there as president, he is not saying go and attack. He's just saying go and investigate.
Yes.
And he has done a good thing by signing the statement personally. It is not Ajuri Ngelale talking to us. It's not Mr. Ononuga talking to us. He's the president himself signing a personal statement.
Yeah.
And, regretting the death of these soldiers and trying to calm down nerves. I think that should be the main narrative. The role being played by the Nigerian president in national colors and saying that, look, justice must be done. That's the full import of what the president of Nigeria is saying, in my view.
Very well said, Dr.
Finally, I think, although it's a sad subject we are discussing, it is good to have seen that I sit on this table this morning with a policeman's daughter and a general's daughter.
Absolutely.
So, I thought I heard you say your dad was a general, or he's a general. He's still serving. He's a retired brigadier general.
Daughters of officers.
And this is also a daughter of a retired commissioner of police.
Yeah.
So, I consider myself privileged.
Right, the discipline is on the table.
Even this is a sad subject.
Absolutely. May their souls rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
We'll take another story. Over the weekend, social media was awash with reactions trailing the report by the Ministry of Transport, which on Friday disclosed that it had signed an MOU with a rail development company, MPH Rail Development Limited, in the United Kingdom for the implementation of the PortHarcourt-Enugu-Calabar Rail Line project under a public-private partnership framework. Well, according to the company's profile on the UK Companies House website, the company appears not to have carried out any rail development projects at all. And as of last year, the company's share capital was £1,000. The rail construction is said to be owned by Adeyemi Ikiforiji, who was the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly from 2005 to 2015. Rufai, a quick sentence I thought it was important to highlight this story so we don't.
This is
Nigerians
also something we should watch. That we've not learned from P&ID.
No, we haven't.
It has to be said, for a contract of that magnitude, a company that has not shown capacity and a small capital base, you're bringing them into it, then there are questions that need to be asked.
Absolutely.
So if there's a dispute or a cancellation of this contract at a point in time, what was the arbitration clause put in place for this? There's also another story that says Ikuforiji's name has been removed from
fraud allegations?
No, from the list of the owners of the company. It's been opened back and forth. But most importantly, I would like to ask the Ministry of Transport a couple of questions. Number one, what's the due diligence carried out on the company before this contract was signed? Secondly, what's the company profile like? Thirdly, what are the guarantees in a case scenario where they renege on this contract? Number four, what are the arbitration criteria, in a case where a contract like this goes seriously awry? And we must also look at this really in detail, because I know across that rail corridor, the contract is worth billions of US dollars. And we need to be very careful so we don't fall into all of this. So it goes back to the contract processing, in this country, which we've always not learned from. Today, we are still dealing with another one as regards, I think, Mambila. That Mambila project is there. We are fighting the judgment debt as regards that. We know how we have to fight for P&ID. Many other cases like that, judgment debt. So let's be careful.
Absolutely.
If you make reference to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's book as regards, contract scams and things like this, I'm not saying this is a scam. Please don't get me wrong. But I'm saying we should be able to investigate the veracity of these companies before we're giving them jobs in the first place.
Absolutely. We need answers from the Ministry of Transport. Take our final story. This Day Style, as part of their coverage for International Women's Day, caught up with the formidable female leaders of the African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank. This weekend's feature highlighted 8 women leading Afreximbank to reshape Africa leading with Kanayo Awani, Executive Vice President of Afrexim Bank. Then we have Gwen Nwaba, who's the Director and Global Head, Trade Finance and Acting Director, Client Relations. Then Maureen Mba, Head of MAMSA Initiative. We also have Oluronti Dorothy, who's the Director, Export Development. We also have Hayam Abu Arab, who's the Director, Credit Assessment. And then we have Marwa Turk. She is the Head of Financial Control at Afrexim Bank. Then there's Helen Brume, who's the Director, Projects and Asset-Based Finance. And finally, Anne Eze, who is the Director of Communications and Events. Fantastic. These women have been doing excellently well. They discuss the various initiatives and programs that the bank has implemented to support women entrepreneurs and professionals. Congratulations to these 8 women. They're celebrating Women's Month. I know that, you know, we have all been celebrated Vimbai. Isn't it amazing to see these women reshaping the finance world at this point? A quick sentence from you before we wrap up.
Listen, always fantastic to see. And, you know, we don't leave the men out of it, the he for she.
Yes.
Because, you know, there are men who are also making an enabling environment, but love to see women putting our best foot forward, taking control, taking charge, as you did earlier in the show. We're here to stay.
Absolutely, we are here to. Again, happy International
This year's
Women's Day.
International Women's
Always,
Day
yes.
is invest in women,
Yes.
accelerate progress,
Right.
inspire inclusion. And it is good to see that the Afrexim Bank is investing in women,
Yes.
and ensuring gender diversity
Absolutely.
and equality.
Absolutely.
That's the point.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to thank you all, and also he for she's, for your great contribution on What's Trending, as always. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.